Level 1, the applicant. You're 19, you hate the idea of college debt, and you're good with your hands. You hear electricians make real money, so you apply to the local apprenticeship, the IBEW hall, or a non-union shop. It doesn't matter yet. There's an aptitude test. Algebra you forgot in high school, reading comprehension, mechanical reasoning. You study for 2 weeks, you pass. Then the interview. 3 men at a table, all of them older, all of them with thick forearms and scarred hands. They ask why you want this. You say you want to build things, you want to provide. One of them asks if you're afraid of heights. You lie and say no. One asks if you can show up on time every single day, in the rain, in the snow, at 6 a.m. You say yes. They put you on a waiting list. You wait 5 months. Then a letter comes. You've been accepted as a first-year apprentice. Report Monday to a job site downtown. Steel-toe boots, hard hat, work gloves, and bring your own hand tools. You spend your last $400 at the supply house. Lineman's pliers, side cutters, strippers, a tape measure, a torpedo level, 6 screwdrivers. You don't know what half of them do yet. You're going to find out. Level 2, the apprentice. For the next 5 years, you are the bottom of the food chain. You make material runs, you dig trenches, you carry pipe, you sweep the floor at the end of every shift while the journeymen pack up. You learn the language, EMT, rigid, MC cable, Romex, 12-gauge, 14-gauge, hots and neutrals and grounds. You learn to bend conduit, and you ruin 100 sticks of it before you get one clean. A 90-degree bend, an offset, a 3-point saddle, a kick. The journeyman shows you once, fast, then walks away. Figure it out. You buy the code book, the National Electrical Code, 800 pages of fine print, and you read it at night because there's a test coming every year. You go to school 2 nights a week after working 10 hours in the field. Ohm's law, voltage drop, conductor ampacity, conduit fill. You're exhausted. You take your first real shock at 120 volts reaching into a box you thought was dead. It throws your arm back. Your heart pounds for an hour. The old-timer laughs and says now you'll always check it twice. You learn lockout tagout. You learn that the guys who stop checking are the guys who don't go home. You make $12 an hour. Your friends are graduating with degrees. You're pulling wire through a muddy ditch in January, but every year your wage goes up, and every year you know a little more. Level 3, the journeyman. 5 years in, you sit for the journeyman exam. 4 hours, open book, but the book won't save you if you don't know where to look. Calculations, code lookups, theory, you pass. You get your license, a laminated card with your name on it. You are now a journeyman wireman. You work alone now. They hand you a set of prints and a section of the building, and they expect it done right and done fast. You rough in a house in 3 days. You set the panel, land the feeders, wire every circuit, every outlet, every switch, every light. The inspector comes. He finds 2 things wrong, a missing staple, a box not flush. You fix them. He signs the card. You feel something like pride. You move to commercial work, bigger pipe, bigger wire, 3-phase power, 480 volts that doesn't just throw your arm back, it kills you. You bend rigid conduit with a hydraulic bender. You pull 600 feet of wire through a conduit run with a tugger and 3 other men sweating on the rope. You terminate a 400-amp switchgear. You learn to read a building like a book. You make good money now. Scale wages, full benefits. You buy a truck. You think you've made it. You have no idea how far the ladder goes. Level 4, the lead man. After a few years, you're the one they trust, the senior journeyman. When something doesn't work, they call you. A circuit keeps tripping, and nobody knows why. You take out your meter. You check voltage, you check amperage, you check for a ground fault. You find it, a pinched wire behind a stud, the insulation worn through. You troubleshoot the things younger guys can't. They give you an apprentice to watch, the same way you were watched. You catch yourself showing him a bend once, fast, then walking away. Figure it out. You run a small crew on the side of a big job, 4 men. You lay out the work in the morning. You make sure they have material. You answer their questions. You fix their mistakes before the foreman sees them. You start to understand that the work isn't just the wire anymore. It's the people, the schedule, the plan. Your back has started to talk to you in the mornings. Your knees crack when you climb a ladder. You've fallen once, off a 6-foot stepladder, and landed wrong, and you don't tell anyone because you can't afford to miss a day. You take ibuprofen like candy. You're 31 years old, and your body is already keeping score. Level 5, the foreman. They make you a foreman. Now the whole job is yours. 20 men under you on a commercial build, a hospital, a school, an office tower. You don't pull much wire anymore. You carry a set of prints and a phone that never stops ringing. You're the first one there at 5:30 in the morning and the last one to leave. You lay out the entire job. You order material weeks ahead. You walk the floor with the general contractor, who blames you for every delay that isn't your fault. The plumbers are in your way. The HVAC guys ran their duct right where your pipe needs to go, and now somebody has to lose, and it won't be you. You write the daily reports, you track every man's hours, you handle the apprentice who shows up hungover, and the journeyman going through a divorce who can't focus. You discipline a man twice your age, you learn that being right isn't enough, you have to be right and keep the job moving. You miss your daughter's first steps because you're standing in a parking garage at 7 at night arguing about a change order. You tell yourself it's worth it. The money is real now, you're providing. That's what they asked you in the interview, all those years ago. Can you provide? You can, it just costs more than you thought. Level 6, the general foreman. You're running multiple crews now, across a massive project. 100 men answer up through your foreman to you. You don't touch tools at all. Your hands, once cut and burned and calloused, start to soften, and it bothers you more than you'll admit. You're in meetings now, coordination meetings, safety meetings, schedule meetings. You sit across from the project superintendent and the owner's rep, and you defend your manpower, your timeline, your costs. You learn the politics of a job site, who to push, who to flatter, who to never trust. When an inspector red tags a section, it's your problem. When a man gets hurt, it's your problem. You're the one who fills out the incident report when an apprentice drops a panel on his foot. The one who calls the wife when a journeyman collapses from the heat. You carry the weight of every man's safety. You've been to 2 funerals now for men who stopped checking twice. You don't laugh about shocks anymore. You sleep 5 hours a night, and you wake up doing math, manpower against schedule against budget. The trade you fell in love with, the clean bend, the perfect rough-in, the quiet pride of work done right. You barely do it anymore. You manage the men who do. Level 7, the superintendent. You run the entire electrical scope of a project now, start to finish. Tens of millions of dollars of work. You report to the company owner and to the client. You're not on one job site. You're between 3, living in your truck, fueled by gas station coffee and the painkillers your doctor finally prescribed because the ibuprofen stopped working. You estimate. You bid. You sit in an office staring at a spreadsheet, pricing out a job that will take 2 years, knowing that if you're wrong by a few percent the company loses a fortune and it's your name on it. You hire and you fire. You promote the apprentice you once trained, now a foreman himself, and you feel old. You negotiate with the union hall and the general contractors and the inspectors you've known for 30 years. You know everyone. You've earned respect. You're the man people call when a job is in trouble. You fly to a project in another state to fix what someone else broke. Your second marriage is strained. Your kids are teenagers who text you instead of talk. You've got a house you're rarely in and a boat you've used twice. You tell yourself you'll slow down soon. You've been telling yourself that for 10 years. Level 8, the master electrician. You sit for the master's exam, the hardest test of your life, and you pass. Now you can pull your own permits. You can design a system from nothing, calculate the service, size the gear, stamp the drawings. You're at the top of the trade. Cities call you to consult. Lawyers call you to testify as an expert witness when a fire kills someone and the insurance company needs to know why. You stand in a burned-out building and read the story in the melted wire, the wrong breaker, the overloaded circuit, the corner somebody cut to save $40. You know exactly how a small mistake becomes a coffin. You've forgotten more code than most men ever learn. But you can feel the years in your hands. The fine motor control is going. There's a ringing in your ears now that never stops. 30 years of grinders and hammer drills and conduit clanging in steel buildings. You can't hear your grandchildren in a crowded room. You've got a scar on your forearm shaped like a lightning bolt from an arc flash that should have blinded you. You were lucky. A lot of men weren't. Level 9, the contractor. You start your own company. Your name on the truck, your name on the line. You're not an electrician anymore. You're a businessman who used to be an electrician. You sign personal guarantees. You make payroll for 40 families every 2 weeks, and some weeks the money isn't there yet, but their rent is due anyway, so you cover it out of your own account, and you don't sleep. You chase the general contractors who owe you 90 days late on a job you finished perfectly. You carry insurance that costs more than your first house. You bid against younger, hungrier outfits that lowball you, and you watch them win work you know they'll botch. When you win, you carry all the risk. One bad job, one injured worker, one lawsuit, and 30 years of building this could vanish. You're 60 years old, your back is fused in 2 places, you have a card that says Master Electrician, and a body that says enough. You drive past buildings you wired 30 years ago, still standing, still lit, the lights still on because of the work of your hands, and nobody walking inside will ever know your name. That's the job. The whole world runs on what you built, and the world has no idea you exist. Level 10, the retired. You finally sell the company, or you just lock the truck and walk away. There's no ceremony. Maybe the guys take you to dinner. They give you a plaque. It goes in the garage next to the tools you can't bear to throw out. The lineman's pliers worn smooth, the bender, the meter. Your hands don't work the way they used to. They ache in the cold and go numb at night. Your knees are bone on bone. The ringing in your ears is your constant companion now, the sound of every job you ever worked. You try to be still. You can't. You wake at 5:30 out of 40 years of habit, and there's nowhere to go. You fix things around the house that aren't broken just to hold a tool again. You drive past job sites and watch the young men carrying pipe, and you want to tell them something, but you don't know what. Check it twice. Save your knees. Go home when they call you. You wouldn't have listened either. Your pension is decent. Your body is wrecked. The money was real, and the work was good, and you'd do most of it again, but God, you wish someone had told you what it costs. And somewhere across town, a 19-year-old who hates the idea of college debt is sitting at a kitchen table, filling out an apprenticeship application. He's heard electricians make real money. He's good with his hands. He buys his first set of pliers at the supply house, shiny and new, and he holds them like they're the key to everything. He has no idea what he's signing up for. He doesn't know about the shocks, the falls, the funerals, the years his body will pay back with interest. He just knows the lights turn on when you flip the switch. He's about to spend 40 years learning why.